Yeah, I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life. Yeah, I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life. Yeah, so don't get me wrong. I know I loved you, girl, in the show. Yeah, but that was till you ended it. Now you call my phone up, broke my heart like you regretting it. Yeah, I don't understand this shit. I ain't a toy, I ain't a toy. I'm a man, yeah, I ain't a boy. You play around, yeah, you stay drama. I don't make drama. I ain't hating mama, it's okay. Yeah, I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life, yeah. I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life, yeah. It used to be like, why you gotta leave, why you gotta go? Why you not with me, can you let me know? Yeah, when did we fall out? Was it worth it all? Yeah, but that was till you ended it. Now you call my phone up, broke my heart like you regretting it. Yeah, I don't understand this shit. I ain't a toy, I ain't a toy. I'm a man, yeah, I ain't a boy. You play around, yeah, you stay drama. I don't make drama. I ain't hating mama, it's okay. Yeah, I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life, yeah. I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life, yeah. I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life, yeah. I need good vibes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm so sick of these goodbyes. I'm just trying to have a good life.
Edition of the Impact Zone. What a show, man. Kinda getting into this. I hope you are as well. Let's go. Get into tonight, man. I hope you guys are excited. Thank you for being here on this fine evening. My name is Jesse, a.k.a. very own, one and only Chitown Smark. What is going on on with you, man. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. What you guys think of tonight's show, man? I know I enjoyed it. What about you? What about you guys? Huh? Did you enjoy it, man? Did you watch it? I see you guys in the chat, man. I see that some of you have subscribed. That's what's up, man. I see some of you have subscribed to Impact. That's what's up, man. We had a pretty nice show. We had a lot going on tonight, man. We had the debut match of Trinity in the ring with KiLynn King, man. Trinity out there showing the naysayers and showing the diehards out there that she can still go. And yes, she can. She can go, man. KiLynn King out there with her. It's a fantastic matchup. We got the world champion out there tonight as well, Steve Macklin. He is out there in action tonight. We had a lot of stuff, man. We had a lot of stuff going on. So I tell you what, man. Let's get into it. They are definitely building to Under Siege. So Under Siege is... So for me, and by the way, if you are new to the channel here, this is kind of what this journey is about here for me. I am here to get into Impact Wrestling on the fly. So any of you diehards out there who've been watching it for years, I ask you humbly to please bear with me. Bear with me, man. I'll get there. I'm coming into this ride, in the middle of it. You guys have been there, and I want to catch up. I want to see what you guys have already been seeing. So far, so good. So far, so good. I like it. I like it very much. So, let's see. Someone say my mic. Oh, I guess my mic was a little low. My bad. The mic should be much, much, much better at this point. All right. That is my bad. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. First of all, let me get into anything I may have missed. Tony Brown in the house. Tony Brown, man. Gotta love you, man. Been thinking about you the last couple of days, bro. Not gonna lie. There's been lots of Tony Brown action going on. Tony Brown with the 199 super chat says, I am ready for Diva Meet. That is the Tony Brown that we know and love. Thank you so much, everybody. If you also have a comment or a question, feel free to get them in, and we will get to them later on at the end of the show. Starting off the show, man, we have Trey Miguel versus the Laredo Kid. Let me tell you, this was nice. This was awesome. This was exciting. I have never seen Trey Miguel in the ring. This is my very first experience. Gonna be honest, maybe. I'm not sure if I've seen the Laredo Kid in the ring or not. I may have. I'm not going to lie. I may have. I've seen so many different versions of luchadors on so many different promotions that I'm starting to lose track. This guy could be one of the Sin Caras for all I know. I actually have no idea. But I will say this, man. This guy can work. Both of them. My first thoughts of Trey Miguel as I watched him work in this match is he looks like I don't want to say a better version or a worse version, but maybe I would say a younger version. He looks like a younger version of Ricochet. And my God, this guy can move. And the chemistry that these two had. When I'm sitting here watching Trey Miguel do his thing, all of a sudden the Laredo Kid pops up out of nowhere and counters and comes back and just looks like a killer himself. The energy these two gave off in their match, incredible, man. Incredible. Trey Miguel, for those who do not know, is the Impact X Division Champion. All right, so as I'm to believe, it's that is the equivalent of, one would say, the cruiserweight division. All right, and I can appreciate that, man. I'm a big fan of in-ring work. I really am. As long as it has some story with it, and obviously this all does. So, match starts off. Laredo wants to give a little handshake, give a little ROH vibe here. Trey Miguel says, I'm a heel, Kicks away the handshake. He wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling the handshake, bruh. Can't be mad at that. The Kid tries to tie up Trey to start the match. Trey reversed it. And then they both end up doing the kip up, kind of like a I can do what you do, only better type deal. They kind of pout around for a while. Trey rolls out and retreats. After a minute or two, he has to go and got to recoup himself. The Laredo Kid ended up doing a dive to the outside, and the way the Laredo Kid landed was, oh my God, man. Greg Goldman with the Super Cody chat. I'll get to you, bro. I'll get to you. The way he landed, the Laredo Kid, he hit this guardrail, and my God, man, I sincerely hope he was okay. That was a nasty landing, an extremely nasty landing for the Laredo Kid. He did continue in the match. It seems that he did perform at a pretty decent level, so hopefully he was okay. Trey manages to wipe Kid's feet from up under him with a kick onto the apron. Trey uppercuts him while he's still on the outside. They roll back in where Trey delivers a low drop kick, a cover attempt. Trey goes for a cheap shot in the corner to Kid's face. Trey does the Eddie Guerrero shimmy, That seems to be the new thing in wrestling now. Not new. They've been doing the Eddie tributes for years. But as of late, the Eddie tributes seem to be coming out of the woodwork. I mean, everyone's doing them. I mean, the baby faces are doing it for, the cheap baby face heat. All the heels do it for all the cheap heel heat. Is it being done too much? I'm starting to think so. I'm starting to get a little bit of a feel of this is being done too much. What do you guys think? I don't know. Maybe it's a me thing. What do I know? Right? But think about it. You got Dominic doing it. You got Conan and Chavo getting pissed about it. You got Rey Mysterio doing it. Everybody in other promotions are doing it. Bro, everyone is doing it. I mean, it's not special anymore. It's not special anymore. Everybody, that Marco Stunt could be out there just, bro, everybody can't have Eddie ties. What is this? Come on. So, what happened here? Where do we go here? The Laredo Kid smacks the back of Trey's head like he would, like he would if it was a chop. Like if he was chopping him in the front, instead it was in the back. Right in the back of his neck. And it just seemed a little vicious, I guess I want to say. Even commentary pointed out, like, wow, that was kind of a dick move, And then I think it was Tom Phillips, who by the way, Tom Phillips and not Tom Phillips. I think it's Hannigan. I don't know. He's just gonna be fucking Tom Phillips for the sake of conversation tonight. and it's going to be Aiden English because I don't remember their new fucking names. All right. But these two are in rare form tonight. Loved it. They had some pretty good shots in on each other. I fairly enjoyed that pretty much. But yeah, Tom was quick to point out that, Trey does this all the time, blah, 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 blah. So they were just kind of going back and forth with each other. And kind of like that dynamic. They get back into the ring. Kid applies a head arm stretch with his legs, and bro, it was easily the most convoluted submission hold I think I've ever seen in pro wrestling, bro. Seriously, it took him like 10 different maneuvers to complete the hold. I'm like, geez, man, what is this guy doing to him? I mean, by the time he gets done applying the hold, man, he'd be too tired to hold it. But somehow, Trey breaks out of the hold. He backflips out over to a drop kick near fall. Trey swipes Kid's mask off his face and rolls him up for the 3 count. Speaking of things being done excessively in wrestling, Trey Miguel, after I just got done talking about how great he was in the ring, he pulls off the mask of the luchador and wins with that cheap heat, man. It's a little overdone for me. By the way, yeah, Trey Miguel wins after that. I get the feeling this is gonna become part of my ignorance of Impact Wrestling. I mean, feel free. Unlike any other stream that you guys might catch me doing, if I have a thought or an opinion about something and I feel strong about it, I might argue with you. So feel free to correct me if I'm off on this, because it's just my perception as a newbie watching. But it seems like Trey Miguel is a newly turned heel, and it feels like he is trying his best to try to get heel heat. His moveset and everything else tells me that he should be a babyface, but his mannerisms clearly he's a heel, but his mannerisms and the way he's trying to get heat, it just feels like that he's struggling to get legitimate heel heat. So he's going the very cheap route. So again, correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Nonetheless, my God, these two can work, man. These two can work in the ring, and I enjoyed it. It was fresh. It came off as something that I like, the kind of match you don't see all the time, if that makes any sense. All right, so let's see. After the match, Trey gets on a mic and he goes to degrade the Chicago fans. Now, being a Chicago fan and being one that will be in attendance when Impact comes back to Chicago, I got to tell you this. You got to try really hard to insult us, man. You got to try hard. We have thick skin. We've heard it all. So if you're going to come out and talk shit about a Chicago fan, you better dig deep, bruh, because we'll give it back to you much worse. So this wasn't as, I mean, he could have went harder. He could have went harder. Chicago is a city with many flaws. Many flaws. So if you're going to dig, man, let us have it, because we can take it. So Trey says he's going to hold the show ransom until he gets the respect that he deserves. He sits down in the ring and he takes the show hostage. It's he's taking over Impact. Then they go to the commercial break and we come back and Chris Sabin comes out. All right, this is my first experience with Chris Sabin in Impact. Sabin names all of the icons that Trey disrespected by defacing the X Division title. apparently Trey decided to do some improvements to the title. He spray painted it green. That's original. Never seen it before. But I digress. He disrespected so many names, and he names off the list of X-Division champions. He runs down, Chris Sabin runs down his accomplishments and said he's not out to lecture him. Rather, he's here to give Trey the respect by telling him to his face that he's going to become the nine-time, I'm not going to put you guys through it, but he legitimately went through it 9 times. He says he's going to be the 9-time champ at Under Siege. Sabin tells him to get the hell out, and then Trey leaves. Let me tell you something, man. From what I gather, Sabin is beloved, endured. You know, he's one of the originals. He's been there. He's been through the thick of it. And he's a quintessential Impact babyface. After that promo, I really want Trey Miguel to win. Really want him to win. Just so I don't have to sit through this guy saying 10 time. I'll be pulling for Trey Miguel in that match. All right. We have Ace Austin of ABC versus Jason Hotch of the Good Hand. Speaking of good matches, this was fantastic stuff, man. Ace Austin and Jason Hotch, man. I enjoy. So if you can't see the pure joy on my face, I'm looking at my face right now. I enjoy discovering new wrestlers that blow me away, and these first 2 matches gave me just that. These 2 guys, they feel like the future of pro wrestling. Now I know that may be a stretch for, you know, the guys that I'm talking about here, but it just seems like the style of pro wrestling that we want to see grow. I'm seeing it in these first 2 matches, as opposed to, you know, the big muscle bound, sweaty, lumbering around guys who really can't go for longer than 5 or 10 minutes. These are the wrestlers that I want to see in 2023. Guys like this. Brian Myers comes out with the Good Hand, the Good Hands. Brian Myers. So this is about my 3rd week in, and Brian Myers seems to be the legit polar opposite of the way that he was booked in WWE. I enjoy him. He's extremely charismatic. He's very believable. I like it. It appears that they've put him with the Good Hands to further this team. I like it, man. I don't know how else to put this. I'm shocked by it because, again, this is what happens when you start judging wrestlers based on what other promotions did and how other promotions booked them. You start to get the feeling like they are only as good as what this other promotion tells you are. And we are learning in this day and age that that's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true. He is really, really good. He's really, really good, man. And it just seems like he just did not get the break that he should have gotten over on the E. Ace and Hotch start that match with a hookup. Hotch works the arm and then turns it into a headlock. Ace switches things into a headlock himself. onto the mat using his legs. They go to a break. After that, Ace chops Hotch in the corner, and then Hotch dishes it back. So they're going back and forth with the chops. Ace does a running forearm, and then whips Hotch. Gotch. Now I'm saying Gotch. He whips Hotch across, only to get hit by a back elbow. Hotch hits a blue thunder bomb for a cover, kick out. Nobody ever wins with the blue thunder bomb. The blue thunder bomb just seems so dynamic. It seems like such a dynamic move. Nobody ever wins with it. Seems like it's kind of a waste, man. They trade blows in the corner, and then Ace hits a side Russian leg sweep. Hotch targets the leg before Ace plants him face first into the mat. Kind of like a how did he do it? Like between the legs, and then it's hard to explain, but yeah, he did kind of drop him face first into the mat. Hotch blockbusters Ace for a near fall. Ace tries to roll up, but then he kicks out. Myers strikes him on the side of and then Hotch rolls up Ace for the win. Nothing crazy or fancy about the finish, but again, another match with two guys who have fantastic chemistry. Fantastic chemistry, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, this is the style of wrestling that I would like to see going forward. You know, there's not one style of wrestling. There's many, 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 many different styles of wrestling, you know. But I just like to see the sport progress. If we're only doing things that we've been used to seeing over the last 20, 30 years, how can we ever improve, man? And it sincerely feels like Impact is full of talent that is determined to put their stamp and their originality on pro wrestling. You got to appreciate that, man. Backstage, Steve Maclin confronts Champagne Singh and Shera. He tells them, he said, hey, look, I know I kicked you guys to the curb, but since you managed to do a good job for me and taking out Heath, I'm going to give you guys another chance. So he tells them, come on, follow me. Apparently, Steve Maclin has a plan, all right? He has a diabolical plan. We'll find out what his plan is a little bit later. Gia Miller interviews Jordynne Grace about her last chance at Under Siege. Jordynne Grace will be challenging the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship. And if Jordynne Grace loses, she can no longer challenge Deonna for the Knockouts Championship. Let's see. Grace says she wants to be the face of the division. And then Alicia interrupts and says she can't fool everyone. Not sure what that means. Hope it didn't have any kind of subliminal hints. But here we go. We have the debut of Trinity. Trinity versus KiLynn King. All right. We all love Trinity here. A lot of us are here watching Impact now to help support Trinity because the decisions that she made decisions that many people in WWE are afraid to do. They're afraid to do it because of the financial security, the uncertainty of what is waiting for you outside of WWE. So if talent that we enjoyed in WWE decides to leave, I think it's very important that us as fans go out and make sure we support them. And from what I can tell, Trinity is getting a ton of support from the wrestling community, and you love to see it, man. KiLynn King. KiLynn King is someone who I've watched develop as I'm watching AEW Dark and Dark Elevations. I think that she has come a long way. I think she is really good, and I'm kind of shocked that she didn't get picked up by AEW. I feel like their women's division need help. They've always needed help. And KiLynn King, I really assumed she was going to get that graphic. But she did not. She went to Impact, and I'm watching her work with Trinity, and it seems to be for the best. I could not tell you that I feel confident that KiLynn King would have gotten this kind of exposure on her own in AEW. So that it appears that she made the right choice. She goes out there with Trinity, man, and she makes Trinity look good. Trinity does the same. You can tell that KiLynn King was booked with respect. And the one thing I will say here, though, is it seems that champions losing may be a little bit contagious because it seems to be happening here tonight. Let's get into it. KiLynn King pushes Trinity's face before the action really began. Trinity tries the rear view, but KiLynn King scouted that and said, You're not putting that bad boy in my face, man. Get that Tony Brown special away from me. She goes out, takes a powder outside the ring. King gets back in, but gets rolled up a couple of times. KiLynn King tries to leg drop Trinity, but Trinity rolled away. Trinity does a split to the midsection, cover, kick out. King kicks her to the gut. Taylor Wilde, who was out there with her tag team champion partner, Taylor Wilde and Trin are near the ropes, allowing King to take control with a kick to the head into the ropes. She goes. King kicks her in the back and then applies a headlock to the mat into a body scissor. Trinity punches her way out and then tries the jackknife cover. King kicks out. King clotheslines Trinity back down, cover attempt again, kick out. King delivers chest chops and Trinity escapes and kicks her in the head. Trinity is definitely trying to get her timing back. Trying to get her, getting back into the motions. She hasn't really gone, full steam into a match until right now. And I think this was such a good opponent for her. She looked fantastic. They both did. King shoves her into the turnbuckle to stop her once again. King flips Trinity over before choking her into the ropes. Wilde gets involved again while the ref's back is turned. Trinity gets another opening and goes up to the top, only for Wilde to knock her down. Wilde gets caught by the ref, got ejected. The ref said, "Your ass is out of here, man." King chases her up and then Trinity knees her off. Trinity goes for a crossbody, which was more like an Uso splash. Trinity legit went and hit an Uso splash. Then she even had to clap and everything. I had to smile. I looked at that and was like, that's the girl, man. Hitting the Uso splash, boy. Don't forget your roots, boy. Don't forget. It's part of the bloodline, man. Don't ever forget that. Trinity plants King into the mat. Off the ropes for another near fall. Trinity throws punches and then gets hit with a DDT. Cover. Kick out. Trinity flips out of a move and then applies her submission hold to the mat. She called her, what did she call her submission move? I think I jotted it down. She called her submission. It's the same. I forget what she called it in WWE, but they call it now. It's the Starstruck. It's an awesome call by Tom. I'll just call him Tom instead of calling him Tom Phillips, I guess. Nah, I like Tom Phillips, bro. Let's call him fucking Tom Phillips. But yeah, she's called it the Starstruck. Awesome call by Tom Phillips. Trinity for the win. They both look good. These women, I like them being able to go out there and do what they do best, not be held down by time and other constraints. KiLynn King, I remember watching her so many times on Dark. So many times on Dark, man. It was, and to see her now, it just feels like she's graduated, you know. So it's good to see. Jay Vidal comes out and approaches Trinity and says that Giselle Shaw has decided to accept Trinity's open challenge. So we will be getting Giselle Shaw versus Trinity at Under Siege. Then Jay tries to slap Trinity, but she stops him. She says she'll accept the challenge, and then she, knocked his ass out. And then that was that. We cut back to Steve Macklin, Shera, and Singh. We get to find out what the world champions' plan is with Shera and Singh. So they find PCO backstage, and they proceed to beat the holy hell out of this senior citizen. Three grown men in the prime of their careers with weapons and bats and everything else. Completely, they choke slammed this guy onto the ground. It was like cardboard laying down, covering up other shit, but whatever. This guy is rolling around on the ground, holding his back, screaming, "My back, my back, my back." I'm sitting there like, oh God, they just killed this old guy. What the fuck, man? While he's screaming, "My back, my back," they proceed to put 2 huge bricks on his back. Like the Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi. They lining up these fucking bricks, right? Steve Macklin takes a hammer and bashes these concrete stones on the back of this senior citizen. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You are a young, able-bodied world champion, and you have 2 dudes to help you put this old guy out of commission before your title defense? Seems like a little bit of overkill. I mean, I want to see the world champion book strong, bro, but what are we doing here? Is he that insecure about PCO? My God, man. So they kill PCO, and now the narrative going around is the title match between PCO and Steve Macklin might be in jeopardy. Maybe. It might be in jeopardy. We shall see. The Coven confronts Jessica. Jessica's still in the back waiting for fucking Rosemary to come back. When's she coming back? When the hourglass runs out, maybe. Jessica said, I'll be sitting right here waiting, man. I'll be sitting right here waiting. We have Jody Threat versus Sierra. I'm not familiar with everyone on this roster at all, so to me, they all look new. But even I could tell Sierra was a jobber. Even I could see that. So, I mean, from my perspective, it should be looking like, I don't know who the star is. She had jobber written all. It might as well have been on her damn tights, man. Jody Threat comes out with the energy of a Tasmanian goddamn devil. I was telling someone tonight, she reminds me of Becky Lynch version 1 in NXT. I like Jody Threat. I like Jody Threat, man. They lock up to start. Threat backs her into the corner. Sierra reverses position. Threat does corner clotheslines and then suplexes to Sierra. Threat goes up to the top and hits a seated senton. Sierra does a jawbreaker to try to get the opening, but Threat does a shoulder tackle. Threat with the double knees into the ropes. German suplex, hits an F416 for the win. Like I said, jobber. I liked it though. I like Jody Threat. I don't know what they're doing with her. I don't know what their plan is for her. I don't know how long she's been here. I don't know how long they have her for. All I know is that they need to do something with her. She is exciting. She is exciting to watch. Let's see. We have next week. We have Allen Angels versus Rich Swann next week, plus Mike Bailey versus Chris Sabin. Interesting show coming up next week, man. We have Moose, Eddie Edwards and Frankie Kazarian versus Yuya, Uemura, Gresham, Jonathan Gresham, and Shelley. This was the main event. There was a lot of moving parts going on here. A lot of story being told. It feels like I came into the middle of all of this stuff as far as the story. From what I can gather, I had a hard time. First off, I had a hard time right away trying to figure out who the baby faces were and who the heels were. As the match progressed, I can see that, basically it kind of looked like Frankie Kazarian was pretty much the only baby face there. In the match, maybe Jonathan Gresham. It seems like Jonathan Gresham has no direction right now. So, am I wrong on that one? It seems that Jonathan Gresham was the man. He was absolutely the focal point of the company, and now it kind of seems like they're not sure what to do with him. Maybe I'm off on that. I don't know. But let's see. What we got here? Shelley and Edwards start off the match with arm holds. Eddie makes a rough tag to Kazarian. Excuse me. That seems to be the ongoing story right there. We're going to hard tag Frankie Kazarian, does Edwards and Moose. I mean, they replace tagging with chops, basically. Very, very rough tags. Very rough tags. Shelley tags in Yuya in return. Moose gets chopped in the corner and then hit with an arm drag into a lock on the mat. Frankie gets the tag, and then he gets hit with an arm drag as well. Gresham takes over with a wrist lock. Kaz hits a belly-to-back suplex and covers. Eddie comes back in and headbutts Gresham. Shelley and Gresham double-team Eddie for a little bit. Again, there just seems to be a lot of story going on in this six-man tag. It was hard for me to pick up on all of the story. From what I can gather, from what I'm seeing so far in this show, it looks like this match was to further the final push and the final run for Frankie Kazarian. If that's the case, I love it. I love it. You will be hard pressed to get me to find anything I don't like about Frankie Kazarian. So if that's the direction they're headed, I can appreciate that, man. I can appreciate that. Shelley applies the STF on the mat. Yuya comes in and works the leg. That's another thing in this match that was kind of starting to piss me off. Tagging became very optional. The ref seemed to not care if a tag was made. You had guys legitimately in the middle of the ring in a hold, and then that hold would get broken up and one person would get up and roll out of the ring. An attack partner just gets in the ring and starts performing moves, And the ref's like, okay, see where this is going. Then that person would get back out of the ring and the other person would get back in. It just became like a Texas tornado match. I mean, but they didn't go full blown with it. They would still follow the rules whenever they felt like it. And there was a weird spot a little bit later where you know, the Eddie Edwards and Moose, they were trying to convince the ref that they did a tag when they really didn't because the ref's back was turned. The whole fight was in the heel's corner. So the fact that they didn't just do the tag just kind of like made no sense. Like, you could have did the tag. They didn't do the tag. They did the illegal switch, and the ref pulled one of those, did you guys tag? And Eddie did the pantomime so that you know, yeah, I did. And the ref goes, oh, okay, good, okay. Since Eddie Edwards said that, you know, then it's all good. Thought that was just kind of weird. Yuya drop kicks Eddie's leg as the action breaks down with all 6 men going at it. Shelley's team stands tall heading into the break. We come back to Yuya suplexing Eddie. Moose tries chokeslamming Shelley, but then reverses to get Eddie to DDT Moose. So he got him to DDT his own damn tag partner. Shelley gets yanked out by Moose and then slammed onto the apron. Kazarian covers Shelley and then tags Moose after the kick out. Eddie and Moose, they trade tags to continue picking Shelley apart. Eddie prevents Shelley from making the tag with the sleeper hold. Boston Knee Party connects. Cass gets a chopping tag from Eddie again with the aggressive tags. You know, I'm not gonna tag you in. I'm gonna chop the shit out of you in the process. Shelley drops Cass on his face drops Cass's face into a turnbuckle. Eddie and Yuya both get tags. Yuya knocks Moose off before tackling Eddie. Moose accidentally uppercuts Eddie, and Yuya takes advantage with the offense. Yuya backdrops Eddie for a cover and a kick out. Yuya was another guy that just seems like he was thrown into this just to complete the match. It didn't seem like they have any kind of direction going on for him. I could be wrong, but but it looks to me like he's in the same boat with Jonathan Gresham. Eddie hits a Blue Thunder Bomb, and again, nobody wins the Blue Thunder Bomb. And tags Moose. Yuya gets hit with a backbreaker and then a power bomb. Moose tried to power bomb this guy through the mat. Man, that looked like a straight up shoot power bomb. Does all his power bombs come off like that? Because that's what it felt like. Geez, like he really tried to drive this fucking guy through the mat, man. That was scary. Yuya gets hit with a backbreaker, then a power bomb. Gresham gets tagged, and he drop kicks Moose's leg. He kicked his leg out of his leg. Gresham evades a power bomb and kicks him in the head. Gresham extends the knee, and Kaz gets tagged in. Kaz hits the leg drop that follows that patented Frankie Kazarian leg drop, man. He changed direction midair on it. It's so smooth. Kaz hits Shelby with a slingshot DDT. Near fall. Eddie tags in on Kaz, and Shelley drops them both. Eddie counters and backpack stuns. It was like the backbreaker, the double knees to the back. The double knees to the back. Gresham evades a power bomb and kicks him in the head instead. Gresham extends the knee, and Kaz gets tagged in. That's when Kaz does the leg drop. Shelby returns. Kaz clotheslines Shelley a few times. kept getting back up. Body slam and leg drops to follow. Kaz hits Shelley with a slingshot DDT into a near fall. Eddie tags in on Kaz and Shelley drops them both. Eddie counters with the backpack stuns. Just fucking read that. Yuya breaks in. Action breaks down again and Moose gets dumped out. Yuya crossbodies onto him. Eddie is shoved into Kaz and they argue. Kaz clotheslines Eddie. Shelley hits a shell shock and pins Eddie for the win. So shell shocked into Eddie. It seems that there was lots of dissension going on in that match. Again, bear with me, guys. I'm not familiar with the whole story, but it seems like the focus of this story was Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Edwards for the most part. So we shall see. What a show, man. What a show. I really, really, really enjoyed this show. It was to the point. It furthered the storyline and it set up Under Siege. What more could you possibly want? You know? What more could you possibly want out of a show? I mean, it wasn't a pay-per-view. It wasn't some kind of, special super edition of it, but it served its purpose. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Guys, that is the show. I thank you guys so much for joining. Let's play that. There we go. Let's get to the super chats, man. Let's get to the super chats. Let's go back up. Sweet, there's Tony Brown's. I can stay right here on this page. Greg Goldman with the $10. Let's get to the... That's not sound effects, man. Greg Goldman with the $10 super chat says, "What's up, Jesse? Enjoying these streams. Keep up the good work. When you get a chance, check out the Zack Sabre match from tonight." What's tonight? Was Zack Sabre on ROH? Okay. Can't be mad at that. I enjoy a good Zack Sabre Jr. match just like anyone else. P Mac with the $5 super chat says, "Yo, settle this argument. My cousin say hit him up by Tupac District. Tupac District? What is Tupac District? Settle this argument. My cousin say hit him up by Tupac District was better. I say Ice Cube, No Vaseline was better." Okay. That is that's a very subjective question, man. That's a very subjective question. Those two songs will probably go down as 1 and 2 as the absolute best diss songs to ever get released. I think it's gonna come down to preference, bro. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna make me pick one, No Vaseline hit harder to me. No Vaseline just hit harder to me. It was a little bit more personal. I feel like Tupac just might have been grasping at straws, just trying to start beef where there might not have been a need for one at the time. But look, you're asking me to pick one, so I'm just giving you some reasons. But like I said, those songs will be 1 and 2 in the history books at the end of the day. So I hope that answered your question, bruh. I hope that answered your question. We have God Phoenix 66 with the $5 super chat says, "Finally, I found someone who does a thorough Impact review. Great channel." Thank you so much, God Phoenix. That really does mean a lot, man. And I'm not just saying that, Osakui here is here in the chat. He'll tell you, man, I'm not lying. I spent all day preparing for this stream. I spent all day fixing the audio issues that were there last week, trying to get things back on track and in a better form for you guys. I think you guys deserve a better product. So I'm definitely here trying to do just that. So that hits me in the feel goods. So thank you so much, God Phoenix. And by the way, guys, next week, come back. There will be massive upgrades to the channel. Massive upgrades and changes to the channel. Let me tell you how this system works, guys. I do a show. You guys appreciate it. Donate if you can. And then when you do, I take the money and improve the show. And I am hell-bent on making this a better product for Impact fans, because I'm being told that there's just not a lot of Impact reviews out there. And if you can stick out, that's what I want to do. I want to try to be the best. Positive vibes only. With the $4.99 super sticker. It says, keep it up, man. I am trying. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you. Osagui, I know you out there, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. And we're going to come back even better next week, man. Even better next week. I threw the stuff you see here together today. But today was more like fixing the technical problems, man. In the future, I'm hoping these problems, A, won't happen, and B, when they do, it won't take me long to fix. But I'm learning on the fly. So as it takes me all day to fix a problem, next week, maybe it'll take me 10 minutes. We shall see. That is today's show. Short, sweet, concise, to the point. That is my goal. Also, on top of next week's Impact stream, I am in the works of producing new content for you guys. Give me some time. I'm not sure exactly when it'll be. I have an idea what it'll be, but I'm going to save that reveal for another day. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Jesse, a.k.a. your very own one and only Chitown Smark, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.